On today's episode, we are sitting down with Ira Matthews, Super Bowl champion, former NFL player of the Oakland Raiders. Tune in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Paul Tully with the FYI Podcast. We got a big guest in the house today. We got Mr. Ira Matthews, number 43, Super Bowl 15 champion, Oakland Raiders. This is incredible. I've never got to sit down with a Super Bowl champion, NFL football stars. So I'm here with Ira Matthews. How you doing, Ira?
I'm doing good. Great to be here. Great to meet you finally.
Yeah, man.
And let's see what we're going to talk about.
Let's do it, man. It's an honor. I guess we're kickoff. Let everybody know. So Ira was in Dallas with us last week, part of Eric Dickerson's Learning Center grand opening. Tell me a little bit about Dallas. How was it?
Oh, it was great. Tournament was great. Weather was suspect. So they pushed it back, the round of golf that we were going to play, 2 hours, just to let the weather get a little bit better. But the overall experience was great. A bunch of guys that came in town, good legends. Even though I was invited, I appreciate that. And we had a great time. You got Marcus Allen was there. Bo Jackson was there. Tim Brown was there. A bunch of other Raiders. Even ED was there, and he was a Raider too. People don't remember. Mostly, a lot of guys play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And that was one of L's things. He was a great player, just like you're a great baseball player. You got to play with the Yankees or the Dodgers.
Yep.
If you're a great football player, you need to play for the Raiders.
And I'll tell you, Raider fans could not agree more, and they made sure you know it.
Yeah, Black Hole, Raider Nation, worldwide. And it was a great tournament up there. And glad to be a part of that. Fortunate enough to meet the staff here and really appreciate everything they did for me up there.
Yeah.
And great to be on your show.
Great to have you. So being there, we had the grand opening of Eric Dickerson's, the Learning Center. How important do you think that is in today's day and age to have learning centers like this for the youth?
Well, it's very important because when I'm gonna date myself. I'll be 68 hopefully in August of this year.
God bless you.
But when we were growing up, we had the boys clubs. We had the neighborhood. I say Booker T. Washington. I'm from Rockford, Illinois. So we had a Booker T. Washington Center. You had the Boys and Girls Boys Club. And they would somewhere to go when school was out. And supervision was great. And you got a chance to learn have a learning experience that you might not get at home. Participate in a lot of sports. Booker T. Washington baseball, junior tackle football, basketball. So you're surrounded by a lot of people that was influential in your life, other than your parents. But it kept you out of a lot of trouble too. Stay off them streets.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Eric's doing a good thing, and I know he's going to put more centers up across the country. And anything that the NFL family can do to support, we always going to support.
I love that. And you yourself, I know you have done a lot too. How has serving the community played a role in your life, over the years?
Well, I have a charitable foundation too, but one of my grandsons has a spectrum of autism, so I raise money for that Autism Society. And it helps because everybody needs funding here and there, and any penny, any dollar helps.
Yeah.
So, everybody not fortunate enough to play professional football and other endeavors of life, but you always got to give back because there's only one. There's only one race of people. It's called the human race, and we just all need to get along and try to help each other out best we can.
Yes, sir. I feel like that's great. I didn't know about your organization.
Yeah.
We're going to put a link we'll put a link of your organization on this episode. So if people want to, support or donate to that. How do you feel your values align with organizations like what we're doing here with National Core and Hope Through Housing? We focus on developing affordable housing throughout the country. How important do you feel that is? You grew up, north of Chicago, and especially today, times are.
Yeah, times are real different. Even when I was in Oakland playing for the Raiders, housing was affordable. They had a housing cap, rental cap. You can only charge so much for so many feet, square footage of property and stuff, even apartments and stuff. Rental, what they call them, rental subsidies, or they capped them.
Yeah.
But now, housing is out of reach for most people.
Yeah.
Cost of everything going up, and unfortunately, not the wages.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's very important because the United States of America, I don't get political here, but come on, it shouldn't be that many homeless people on the streets.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's funny you just said that. I posted a video yesterday on my social media. It was when Pac was talking about the how people could win $36 million in the lotto, and there's people that don't even have a roof over their head. And it's like, how do we have so much money in this country that somebody could just play $1, win the lotto, but there's like kids starving? So you're right that it's just such a gap that's far in between. And it's good for anybody who got money and is successful. And we want that. This is America. It's of course, but there shouldn't be anybody struggling to pay rent. Anybody. I mean, all the wars we fought and all the things we've done, people should be able to live and eat, with dignity. With dignity,
yeah. I mean, any corners of the United States, you see it, and it's a shame. And even though, but we was talking about Eric's thing. Mm-hmm. That's a good deal he's doing, and I know his goal is to put more of these facilities across the country. And I with y'all's help, I know he'll do it.
Yeah, we're excited about that. So you know what? Let's shift over. I want to learn a little bit about before the NFL, before the Raiders. Who was a young Ira Matthews? Tell us about you before the the big league and the NFL and the fame.
Oh man,
who were you?
I was still Ira Richard Matthews III.
That's right.
Grew up in Rockford, Illinois. Like I said, Booker T. Washington Center. I played baseball, basketball, football. Went to Washington Middle School, ran track. At that time, they went away from tackle football, and it used to be called junior high. They made them middle schools, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. They went away from tackle football, so they had flag football. But I played in junior tackle football league in Rockford for the Booker T. Washington.
All right.
And so we playing tackle. That was pretty good. I started out as a quarterback.
Really?
And long story short, I know how it feels to be a black quarterback in America.
It's not easy.
It wasn't easy then. It's a little better now. But hey, did that one year, my first year. I don't know why they made me quarterback, but I was.
Yeah.
And I don't know who made me run punts and kickoffs, but I did. Second year, I went to receiver. And third year, I was a running back. So we ended up playing the state championship, junior tackle championship game against a team called Belvedere from Belvedere, Illinois. They beat us 40-7. I scored, and they killed me the rest of the game.
Man.
I went from running back to receiver, back to quarterback, and hey, it was no good.
Did you feel football came natural to you? I played 1 year. I was terrible, getting hit. I was like scared to get hit. I was, I learned a lot about myself playing football one year. I was terrible at that sport. How'd you feel?
Hey, you better be scared.
I was scared
football.
to get hit.
But, like I said, I played, when we was growing up, we played every sport. I ran track in the summer with Junior Olympics, and then baseball, basketball, football.
Wow, so you were athletic.
So, but, we went from one sport to the other. And I was fast.
Yeah.
I'd find that out quick.
Yeah.
And but otherwise, growing up was trying. Just you're growing up. You running. Then coming out of middle school, they put us in a school called Rockford East High School. And they put 3 different middle schools into one, to that high school. And 2 of them was, I wouldn't say minority schools, but we all meshed together. And now I was in high school, I was 39-0. And in my school, Rockford East High School, we was the first Illinois state champs in 1974 in the state of Illinois. East High E-Rabs.
Nice.
And from there, I got scholarship offers from all around the country. I took 20 trips.
Wow.
Now you can't take but 5. So they stopped that. But I ended up going to Wisconsin, started as a true freshman as a flanker. I also ran punts and kickoffs. That was what I did. And from there, my second year, they put me in the backfield. I led the nation in kickoff returns as a sophomore. Led the nation in punt returns as a senior. Scored 4 ways, 2 different seasons. And got drafted to the Oakland Raiders, 1979. Coach Tom Floyd's second draft pick ever. And the rest is history. Playing for the Raiders 3 years and winning the Super Bowl. Longest kickoff return in Raider history, still on the records.
Yes.
104 yards.
Yes, sir.
First ever Thursday night football game. And will never be broken.
I love it. I love it. Let me ask you, Ira, can you remember a time that you doubted yourself? And what helped you get through it? Was there, whether it was in high school or in the NFL or in general in life, that you just didn't feel you had what it took, how'd you get through that too?
Really, I never felt that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Education-wise, well, to me, school was easy because everything you need to learn was on the blackboard. Taking the time out to, while you're in the class, to understand what they're saying. And get ahead of the work.
Yeah.
Once you start getting behind, it's sort of hard. Yeah. So I am blessed with a great family, father and mother. Had 2 older sisters, which both of them went to Howard University. So I was going to go to college anyway.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, because my mom and dad already put to college. So only thing I did.
You were the third child to go to college from your family. Wow.
Yeah. So either way, I was gonna go anyway.
Yeah.
It don't matter what. I might not have went to a Big Ten university or something like that, but only thing getting the scholarship, I really appreciate it. It helped my mom and dad. They didn't have to come out their pocket.
It alleviated that. Yeah. That bill.
But,
what did perseverance look like before success? Like, it sounds like you come from a great family that it sounds like mom and dad made sure they were putting it down and you were focusing. So.
Yeah, I'll go back to this. My father went to Fisk University.
Wow.
And, I had my Aunt Stella, which is his older sister. She went to Howard. Wow. My granddad put 3 kids through school.
So you come from a highly motivated,
educated education wasn't no joke.
Right,
right. And I know, I was fortunate enough to be in that family they wasn't playing about that.
Yeah. How did that influence you in your life, to putting that importance of education into you at a young age?
It's very important. I mean, they wasn't playing with no grades or nothing like that, you know. I was fortunate enough to have, like I said, my two sisters go, and my dad and my Aunt Stella and my Uncle Harvey, their father put them through school. So it was a big part of our family, and even the community I lived in Rockford, Illinois. I've been fortunate enough to put 4 daughters through college.
Wow.
So they knew.
Wow.
And one thing I'm more proud of than even playing football is doing that and providing for my family. But education is the key, because football, with any type of sport, you'll never know when it's going to end. You never know you're going to going to the NFL was my lifelong dream. I played well enough. I played for me because I wanted to be the best on the field. And everything fell in place.
Yeah.
So you can get hurt anytime, any sport, and you don't have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Eric Dixon's foundations, learning centers that he's setting up, is going to be very important. It's really important for kids of today, because a lot of them don't have the foundations that I had that supported me to make sure I was doing my grades, my homework, and getting my grades and stuff like that. But education is still the key, and what Eric is doing will help not only this generation, but generations to come.
Yeah, I love that you said that, Ira. Yeah, we feel the same. It's a lot of people in our housings, they don't have, like you said, they don't all have the same support system.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had your parents. It was very important to provide education. So it's great that Hope Through Housing and National Core is able to team up with Eric Dickerson and provide these learning centers for them to. I love what you said too about sports. It's like any time an injury could happen, if you don't have an education behind it, you could find yourself in a real mess. Especially I see that with like the college, right? Because you see like a lot of these young athletes have so much potential, and before they get to the big rod, boom, injury, and it's gone. And so it's great that we're able to team up with Eric and provide these kinds of facilities for these young kids. I want to ask you, was there a key moment in your life that you could think about that changed how you saw your potential? Was there like a moment that was like where you knew you had something special? I know you mentioned before you always knew you could accomplish, but was there like a moment where you're like, man, I got this, like I'm different?
Now I grew out in my neighborhood. It was a bunch of athletes older than me and all that, but I played against them, especially basketball and baseball, stuff like that. But I can't really pinpoint no key moment.
Okay.
Like that. We used to run sprints in the street. We played football in the streets, tab. But when I outran everybody, if someone was older than me too, well, maybe that was a key moment.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned something a few minutes ago that stuck in my head. You said putting your children through college is the most proud moment of your life. It's the thing you're most proud of, more than being in the NFL and winning a Super Bowl. Correct. So was there a moment maybe that doesn't have to do with sports, like something like that, being a parent, where you said, maybe, this is it. This is more than I ever expect. Like, did you ever think you'd put, is it 4 children?
Yeah.
4 children through college. Did you ever think you'd be a father? When you were that young Ira, like, man, I'm going to be a father and I'm going to have 4 college graduates. Did you ever think that was something possible?
No, I didn't even think about all that. You know, shoot, I wasn't even thinking about having no kids or getting married.
Right.
But
It's a huge accomplishment.
yeah, but I was, you know, I saw my parents do it, and here come one. I had to do that, and I got to do it for all of them. But it's something that, like I said, it's more important to me that I done that than playing in the NFL. But like I said, NFL wasn't my lifelong dream. They opened the door, and if you there, you better take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I had the skills to do it, but the game is just like life. The game is mental. It's not physical. Yeah, you can't be dumb to stay in the league. You miss an audible, you ain't gonna be here.
Right. That's a good point.
And it's just like life. You know, it's more mental. You got the physical skills. You got to get up. If you don't go to work, what's gonna happen?
You're not getting paid.
That's right.
That's right.
So it's a mental attitude. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
But when I was in Oakland, the older guys, they made sure they let you know if you could play. Man, you can play, man, but it's mental. It ain't physical.
Speaking about physical and mental, Ira, when you were playing, how'd you deal with injury, one? And how did injuries affect your mental game?
Well, fortunately enough, I got a sprained ankle, knee, maybe some shoulders, but I never had nothing that I needed surgery on. But I got hurt in the AFC wildcard game, first game we was in. I sprained my knee on the kickoff. So when that next game we played Cleveland, but you know I was rehabbing, and I in a week's time I could run, but I wasn't taking no shots or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they, you know, they always had something for you to get you up back on the field if you wanted it. But I didn't do that. You know, just naturally, physically, you keep rehabbing it, it'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough because when I played, it was only 45 people. So if I could run, I could play.
Yeah.
But when I couldn't run, I'm not going out here.
Right.
But mentally, you still, I can't speak for that. I know we all got concussions. And at that time, the word concussion wasn't even in the dictionary. Shoot, they say you got your bell rung.
Yeah.
And they give you some smelling sauce. They say, how many fingers? You say 3. They say, okay, you good to go.
Get back out on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot more awareness now on injuries and injuries and stuff. I think I have a question that's interesting for our listeners. At least it's something I'd like to know because most of us haven't been in the spotlight like you. But how is perseverance on the field or in the spotlight in the NFL? Like, is it the same as when you're off the field? Like, what's the like? Do you think it's different to persevere when you're in the spotlight, when you're in the NFL, when you're getting paid, when the stakes are high in life? Is it different than when you're out of the spotlight and dealing with stuff like most of us are? We don't really have a camera on us, you know. We're just going through stuff in life.
Well, you have to persevere every day you wake up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it might have helped me get through a lot of stuff after the game, but you still, stuff gonna happen in life, so you got to deal with it, or you can lay down. But long as you keep waking up, you should be able, this. I hope you have some kind of support system that help you talk through it.
Yeah.
And help you see stuff different. But I know everybody might not have that. But one thing about being an athlete, we sort of tend to go the other mile. And but being a Raider, we once a Raider, always a Raider. I got 30, 40 guys I can call on, and vice versa, they call on me when they're going through problems, and we talk through stuff. And I'm pretty sure other teams have that too.
Yeah.
Well, all I can speak for is being a Raider.
That's right.
Yeah.
How'd you rebuild your sense of self after football? And what was that like when football ended?
Man, when the Raiders moved to L.A. in '82, I ended up in Green Bay, which I went to school in Wisconsin. That's fine. I needed that 1 year. That was good. Got that. Then they'll waive you because I'll be a fifth-year player. I'll go and make more money. And third wide receiver, they can get a rookie to be third wide receiver and run punts, kickoff for a lot less money than they pay me. So I knew it was coming. So they cut me. It's okay. But when I got cut, I went home, back to Houston, and I said, dang, I got to find out how 8 to 5 work.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to get in McDonald's corporation's management classes. So I worked for McDonald's for about a year and a half. Wow. Yeah. And I ended up running a store. And I want to say God works in mysterious ways. I got a phone call from a guy, one of the first guys I met in Oakland in '79, Mr. Carlos Stanfield. He ended up managing this group called Toné. He needed somebody he could trust to head his security.
Wow.
Hey, so the difference between what McDonald's was paying me and what Toni was gonna pay me, I said McDonald, Mickey Mac, I'm gone.
Hold on, we gotta sound this for a minute. So you get out of the NFL,
Yeah,
get cut,
yeah,
go to McDonald's.
yeah,
You get a opportunity to work at McDonald's, run a McDonald's for a year and a half,
yeah,
and then you get a phone call.
yeah.
And this unknown band at the time, which is gonna now be an iconic band, Toni.
You correct.
How'd they find you? How'd this man find you for security? Someone knew him?
No,
Knew you?
I met him. He's one of the first guys I met in Oakland in 1979.
Wow.
And we became good friends. He's like a brother to me now.
Wow.
Oh, man, yeah.
Let's jump in. What was that like?
God is good.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hey,
God.
yeah.
For real, man.
That's a real story. And did that 9 years.
You were with Toni for 9 years or doing security?
Yeah.
With Toni for that whole rise?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been wild. That's for another podcast.
Yeah,
that must have been wild.
We rocking and rolling.
I bet.
But yeah, I did that. And then my guy sold the band. He sold his rights to the band. And I started working for Port of Houston. And, did that 9 years. I was inspector at the Port of Houston.
Wow.
And the heaviest thing I carried was a clipboard and a pen. And
No hard hat?
And a walkie-talkie. No, all I did was walk around and inspect.
Nice.
I was like an insurance adjuster. You damaged one of them tankers.
Yeah.
You damaged one of them chassis.
Yep.
They send me over there, I write the damage up and bill somebody.
Big bills, too.
Well, yeah. But, I was fortunate enough to get that. And then I worked for Shell Oil 5 years and head of their surplus division. furniture division of the Southeast United States.
Wow.
And went back to the port for another 8 years, doing the same thing. And at the age of 50, I retired.
Beautiful.
And God is good.
Nice young age of retire.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been blessed.
But you earned it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, you accomplished a lot. I mean, that's a lot of different avenues to go down. You know, I mean, when you think about like putting that in perspective, from the NFL to McDonald's to running with Toni to the docks. What do you want your legacy to look like? You know, what do you want to be remembered for?
I was a good guy. A good father. And a good friend. And, you know, all the accolades and all that, yeah, they're fine and dandy. But the friendships that you meet playing sports, I know with the Raiders, we camaraderie. If you are not your brother's keeper, then you ain't gonna win nothing.
That's right. I like that right there. Ira, it's been an honor having you on here.
Thank you.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
You're the first time I've ever spoke with a Super Bowl champion, man, so I'm honored. And I have a lot of Raider fans. I'm going to tell you right now, I think I'm now a Raider fan because I'm not much of a sports guy, but maybe this season I'm going to have to watch some football and root on those Raiders.
Yeah, you it's never too late.
That's right.
You become part of the Black Hole, Raider Nation.
That's right. Do some tailgating.
Yeah, right.
Well, listen, you're not going to get out that easy. Every guest that comes on our show, I ask them to look into their camera. It's actually very simple. And just somebody at home, maybe some young kid out there that's watching this that's like, man, you know, maybe I could do what Ira's done. What advice do you have for them?
Anybody out there listening, young or old, it's never too late. Just you got to be mentally tough, and things will pass, but nothing comes easy. So take advantage of all the blessings that are around you. Use your resources, and which one is here. Reach out. You can always reach out here, and they'll help you out. So just keep pushing.
Love it, man. This was a pleasure. I'm going to close this out real quick. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Incredible stuff. I'm chasing my dreams. Ira's chasing his, and we hope you're chasing yours. See you on the next episode of FYI.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.